wonder what they're like. From our viewpoint, Professor, they're either suprahuman or subhuman.
Hello out there in the YouTubeverse, it is Max and I am back at ya with more Bloomburrow drafties. We're going to jump in here and get started. Been digging Bloomburrow. I know the alchemy is out. I'm not the biggest fan of the alchemy style drafts. I just think a lot of the times the cards are more plants for various constructed formats on Arena and helping fill gaps, more than they're concerned necessarily with making the limited better. So I just prefer the OG in a lot of cases over this time that Arena's been available. So we have a Manifold Mouse to start things off. It's okay. It's very narrow in scope. Harvest Right Host is pretty good. Hop to it's really good. I'm going to put a check on that one. Bandit's Talent's pretty good, but I think you already want to kind of be in that deck. Taking a look at the commons, I like Daggerfang Duo, the Crier, Nettleguard's okay, Baker's Bane Duo is overperformed for my evaluations, as limited as they are. I think I'm just going to take Hop to it. The reason being, I think it's a really strong uncommon. I think it's in a good color. Like, we could still, like, if this were to table, it won't, but if it were to, we could be in mice, we could be in rabbits. Like, there's just a lot of reason to want to take this card early. I see Pawn Prophet down there always draws my eye in. I see an Intrepid Rabbit, which isn't bad. It really fits well with Hop to it. The Bright Blade Stoat is also a really, like, kind of difficult card to deal with. So that's pretty tough. I'm gonna take the Intrepid Rabbit over the Stoat, though I'm low to take another 3. But I think that this kind of does this shut off? I don't want to have to fight too hard. Like, I think the Stoat is really good in the mice deck as well, the red-white deck. I think Intrepid Rabbit is also good in that same deck. So it's really tricky, but I think this is better in the Rabbit deck than the Stoat is. So I'm going to take the Rabbit. Maybe a bit of a contentious pick there. But, again, I haven't drafted this, like, a ton, and by no means am an absolute expert at the format. But definitely want to help people who don't have time all the time to be drafting Arena nonstop. I'm going to take Head of Homestead, I think, out of this pack. A lot of good blue and red cards, which is not surprising as the Otters deck has kind of underperformed. I see a Polywallop in this pack, which would be my next take if Head of Homestead weren't here, specking on the fact that we want to get into rabbits. Thistledown Players is good enough, but not anything I'm excited to take. Head of Homestead I'm actively excited to take. But yeah, that's kind of the role I've begun to fill, is Magic for those who get to play Magic on occasion. And hopefully you enjoy this. If you're good at Magic and you play a lot of Limited, you can kind of help maybe punch a little bit of holes in the theories that I have, or go, no, you're mostly on track. So I think that's a pretty good one. I've taken a pretty significant step back from Magic. I've been playing a lot of Lorcana. So more videos on that to come. They've just made it a little difficult. They've taken away the digital client, and I want to make sure that we have a good setup before we start streaming any Lorcana, and it's taken longer than I anticipated, truthfully. Nettleguard is a pretty good one. Like, it's fine. Destroying an artifact or enchantment can be pretty good if they're going to lock you up under white base removal, things like that. Cash Grab's also pretty good. A little less good in the rabbit style of deck, because you'd rather play to the board more so than try to, like, make sure you're securing your land drops and things of that nature, or playing for a powerful card like the squirrels tend to. So I think I'm going to take Nettle Guard over that. I like the 2-drop. I like getting a body down that shuts them off. I also like the Veteran Mouse Guard, solid, especially with the Intrepid Rabbit. And I would happily take one. I just think that the pick there is a little bit better. So we have Bushy Bodyguard. So if you forage, which is exile 3 cards from your graveyard or sacrifice a food, you can put 2/1/1 counters on it, and you can offspring it as well. So it's pretty good in the late game. It makes multiple bodies, which is the reason I'm interested in it. I like Waxwing Witness enough, and again, I spoke on Cash Grab already. Double Runaway together in this pack, but again, with the Otters underperforming, you can see a late Tempest Angler and card's very good, but the Otters tend to underperform, so people tend to undertake them, as evidenced by that. I see a Provisioner, an Uncharted Haven, a Guard Mouse, a Longstalk Brawl, and a Rabbit Response. I'm going to take the Longstalk Brawl. I would happily take a Rabbit Response, obviously, for the Rabbit deck. Provisioner is pretty good. Like, I'm happy enough to take one, but I don't want to take one if I can take something a little bit better. And I think that Longstalk Brawl is the world of premium removal, so I think it's quite good. It's a Prey Upon or a Prey Upon Plus if you want to gift your opponent a tapped fish. Again, I'd take a Veteran Guard Mouse, but I'm not going to pass up on removal in colors that are that struggle, I guess, a little bit to do that. This is a premium common for us. Warren Elder pumping our entire squad of rabbits is exactly what we want to be doing. Very late, early. Like, I'm seeing some premium cards coming up pretty late in this pod, which is surprising to see. Carrot Cake is one of the best white commons. I think that's pretty surprising to see. I think the Wave Riders overperformed for me, but again, I know a lot of people are staying away from Otters. I think this Bat is quite good. Like, I'm not 100% sure what's getting taken, but what I'm doing seems to be uninterrupted, so I'm not going to complain. We even managed to wheel a Nettle Guard here. I see a Crier, which is pretty late for that, and a Daggerfang Duo, which is pretty late for that card as well. So surprising to see. Here's kind of nothing. We'll take the Harvester just in case. Nothing here for us. Let's take the Maul, I guess. I don't know. Not really sure. This is a white card. I'll take it. I hope to not play it, but I'll put it in and run away together last. Not too terribly surprising. Coyotes, solid removal. Again, in colors that don't get it very much. There's another Longstalk Brawl. There's a Wear Down, which is, like, fine, but more of a... I think more of a constructed card. But I don't even know if it really fits there. Gifting a card's a pretty big ask. Early Winter in this pack. I like the Elder for what we're doing. I like the Longstalk Brawl's removal. The Coyote, I'm Mas or Manos on. Like, it's fine. I don't know. It's tough. It's a good card. I think we're going to get pinched for white this direction a little bit more. Longstalk Brawl's really cheap. That's the advantage. But we don't have things that fight very well, right? So, like, another Warren Elder helping to pump the squad and add redundancy is nice, and I love good 2-drops. That's really a hard pick, honestly. I guess I'll take the Coyote. I've had it be good and bad. It's a little... Like all creatures that conditionally remove a different creature, it's a little thin for me, but sometimes it can be a game winner. So it's really high ceiling, low floor on that card for sure. And if you haven't noticed, I am recording this during the day, which is a little unusual. So if you hear noises or I fail to articulate as clearly as possible, it's because I'm not as awake as usual. Just because of the schedule, I wanted to grab this and get it done before work. So it's quite early in the morning at time of recording, but we love bringing you the content, and I love a good excuse to play some Magic. Create X tokens that are copies of target token. This is pretty good. Like, seems like, again, one of those high ceiling, super low floor cards. +1/+3 is fine. I don't hate a Cultivator, but I think we don't necessarily want to go down that road. The Oak Hollow Village is strong, and it does fill a land slot. Crumb and Get It has been really, really good, in my opinion. Like, this card's nasty. Like, one white is up, you just have to respect it. Yeah, I'm going to take it. I just don't know how easily or how much we're going to... Yes! Oh, yes! Oh, that's exactly how I feel. That's the kind of communication you get from me early in the morning. I think the Burrow Guard Mentor is so good. I would be thrilled with another Head of Homestead, and I hope to get another before the draft ends. But Burrow Guard Mentor is exactly why you draft the Rabbit deck. This card is stupid. It's so good. It's so oppressive. And I'm happy to add it to my deck for sure. Heaped Harvest is a little slow. I don't know about the third Nettle Guard, though. I think I'm going to take it, but just put it in the board and hope to not have to play it. If I have to, so be it. There definitely will be worse things that happen. The Sun Shower Druid is a little thin. It does put a 1/1 counter on target creature, so it's not the worst. The Junk Blade Bruiser is a little bit expensive for what we're doing, though having a creature that can punch through is nice. I'm going to take the 1 because, again, I just kind of want to flood the board. I'll put it in my sideboard for now because, again, I'd prefer to not play it, but if I have to, I have to. We already took a trick, and I think Crumb and Get It has impressed me more than Mabel's Medal, though it is a very good card, and the artwork is so good on this card. I'm going to take another Longstalk Brawl. It's just exactly kind of what I'm looking for. We do need some bigger creatures to make it as good as it can be, because a lot of times we might be stuck with a little creature, but like with potentially 3 Nettle Guards and things like that, I'm not too worried. Take this just in case. Again, we can play it. It's double green, which scares me a little bit in our current configuration. But we'll see. I don't like anything going on here. I'm just going to take the rare. No good reason. I'm just taking the rare. We'll take Cash Grab. Again, I hope to not play it. Right now we're at 14 playables with 0 land. So a touch light on the playable front, but we do have 2 cards that can very easily slot into our deck. And we're wheeling good stuff. Like, this is a strong card, right? It's not, it doesn't help us in any way because it's a land, right? It's not going to help us get to playables. But 15, so we 14 and we're trying to get to 23, so we need a pretty strong next pack to not play any of our sideboard cards. But man, this card's so good, and unfortunately blue black is just a very difficult deck to play, so I know a lot of people tend to stay away from it. Same with the Otters. Really good stuff though. Wolverine, has to refresh myself on this one. Quite a good card. Stocking the Pantry is a little slow. Don't want another Nettle Guard. Druid is quite good. If you control a token, it gets +2/+0 and trample. It seems like the Wolverine is probably a better take, though it is double green specifically. And the 3-drop works on our curve a little bit better. So it's not as obvious a choice as I think it would be normally. And I haven't played but like just destroy target artifact or enchantment, fights target creature, token specifically, or a 1/1 counter. It just kind of does a lot, and it's a nice high-end payoff to go with the Coyote. Other than Head of Homestead, I don't think I'd take many other 5-drops. That being said, there is oh, wait a second. This green shell is insane. This is one of the best rares in the format. It's good with tokens because it pays you off for getting lands. Oof. Man, that's really difficult. I may have to pass this card. Polywallop, not as good in our deck. Baker's Bane Duo is fine. It's really hard. I think I'm going to take the Head of Homestead, and that's probably going to upset a lot of people. Although I do have the Hive Spine Wolver. I'm going to take this because I just want to cast my cards, and I just, like, I get it, and I totally understand the power level of that card, but, yeesh. Yeah, not so much interested in that. Probably just another Head of Homestead over the Village. This secures our top end, like, completely, right? Like, we have 5 drops. That's like all I'm interested in. I don't want anything more expensive than that. And now my hope is I can fill in. I'd love to get like another Carrot Cake or 2. Another Burrow Guard Mentor would be an absolute dream pick. We'll see. Moose is expensive. This is exactly what I was talking about wanting to avoid. I might take the Sword Master over it this time. I have Crumb and Get It that can help, and multiple Longstalk Brawls. So I'm going to take the cheaper card here just because I am trying to value having a functioning curve. And that's really important to me. This is pretty good. This card is really oppressive if you have it. It would be another 5. It would be a 6-drop technically, or a 4-drop, which we don't have any of. I'll take the Curious Forager, I think. Just being able to return a premium 5-drop is really nice. Life Creed Duo is fine. It's a way to stay in the game, and it fits exactly what I'm asking for. Is curve. Another late Galewind Moose. I think I'm going to take Sonar Strike, though. The odds of me holding up a lot of land are low. I don't love this kind of card in this deck, but I just don't think I need big beefums as much as I need curve considerations. Yeah, I'll take another Life Creed Duo. It's a good place to stick counters. It keeps us in a game, because it just gains us an absurd amount of life, right? Druid of the Spade Wield, that's perfect. So I think our curve, other than not having 4-drops, is pretty good. A little weird that we didn't end up with a 4, but we have 23 cards now, so if I had to cut a card, I'd really want to cut a 5-drop that's not Head of Homestead, but like both those 5s are pretty darn good. Creatures that remove other creatures, even if one is specifically tokens, is pretty powerful stuff. Ooh, packs are stuck somewhere. Goodness gracious. Yeah. A couple people with a couple difficult decisions. We don't have much left in the way of decisions. Like, I don't think I want to run the cash grab. I don't necessarily think I want the... Ooh, Baker's Bane Duo is nice. Polywop, we just don't really get to take the cost down much. Like, I'm fine with a bully effect, but I think I'll just take the 2-drop. Late Pawn Profit. That's like borderline insane. I'm gonna put it in the board. I just don't think we can afford a double green card like that at that spot on the curve. We could run all of the Nettle Guards. I'll tell you what. Wow, that was actually pretty good. Okay. Do we value the Rush Shield Rampager over? Because right now I can cut a land, right? Like I have 0 issue cutting a land. Let me check my pips real quick before I go just willingly. That's what I thought. Okay. Thank you. Sorry for all the clicky noises. It just wasn't functioning for me. I can take out Coyote. I could take out Wolverine to try to get the curve a little bit more suitable. Because this is like a 4 or a 6, right? I don't want to cut another card. I think when I'm talking about 16 land, my predilection is to cut a 5-drop. I probably just cut the Wolverine, honestly. I know, again, contentious, but having a deck that can function and overwhelm my opponents, like, seems more valuable than a big 5-drop. I mean, 5-drops get me out of trouble, right? But that being said, so do my other 5-drops. They either enact the game plan very well, or they get me out of trouble already. So that's my rationale. Agree or disagree, pop it in the comment and let me know what you think. And I'd love to hear why. Just because, again, I don't get to draft as much as I used to. Go back a year or two. And I was drafting on Magic way more. But Lorcana being just now hitting its 1-year anniversary and us being pretty ensconced in it has definitely taken up some time. But yeah, more content on that. If you want to see Lorcana content and you happen to be watching this, just pop it in the comments and let me know. I'm trying to bring it in a thoughtful way that's not just the same thing everybody else is doing. And that's generally our content ethos, and it has been for a long time. I know a lot of people draft Magic cards. But with Lorcana, I feel like I need to be bringing something that's a little bit different and a little bit more thoughtful than just like the average gameplay video. Or if I bring you a gameplay video, I want to bring it in at such a level of quality that it's worth coming back for. Right now, we're doing the podcast, available every other Wednesday, wherever you get a podcast. Illumination, the Disney Lorcana podcast, we're checking out. And we're here, of course, every single Thursday with a new video. We are over on our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/superliminalfilms as well. So, Longstalk Brawl is a potential into Nettleguard. We'd have to gift the tapped fish, which would then shut down the Nettleguard, so I don't love that line of play. I might just make the Thistledown players. Actually, I could maybe get an attack in. Is it worth it? Yeah, I guess so. I hemmed and hawed over it for a while, so opponent might be like, they don't have anything. Get out of here. But little do they know, I in fact do not have anything. But taking the Life Creed Duo off the board in a bat deck is fine with me, especially when we're presenting pressure like a 3/3 that is now quite good with Longstalk Brawl. So next turn I can Longstalk Brawl plus Nettle Guard if I don't draw a land. If I draw a land, I'm not really sure, but I kind of like this. So choose target you control and target you don't control. Then fight. Yep. I do not want to gift a fish. Just going to take this thing down. I don't want to do that here. If I had drawn a land, I would have. Pseudo Vigilance, get there, 17. So, looking for a land, I mean, there's no other way to kind of sugarcoat that. I'll play this on 3, I'll play this. I'd probably play this no matter what, but I do want to get to this Head of Homestead if I want to win the game here. Like, the Thistledown and the Nettle Guard are fine, but the nice thing against the white base down, 3 colors. Seeing that a lot lately. I'm not really sure if that's correct or not, so it looks like they're going to protect their life total with the Moonrise Cleric. Smart. I could put down a 4 to begin to pressure them. It's tough, right? Like, that's a really good question. I don't have enough to leave up the village, and I don't know if the village works on a mouse. It does not. So I think I'm just going to play the Rampager just to give me the ability to get past the Moonrise Cleric they have currently. But yeah, seeing a lot of 3-color, a lot more than I anticipated. Like, I was surprised. Like, I'm surprised to see in what looked like a bat deck something like the 3/5 is annoying. We got to figure out something. I'm willing to discard the Swordmaster here. It's not going to be the greatest choice ever. See what they do with this Starseer Mentor, but I kind of have to pressure them. It's this 10 damage coming in. So it's like they don't have a lot of good... Like, they can definitely block something with the Druid and then just kind of... Yeah, they're just going to take 7 here. And the turn. The tension's going to be the mana for sure, right? Like, if I had drawn a land somewhere... Like, imagine that Swordmaster was a land and I just lose 3 life there. That's fine. But we do need to pressure this opponent pretty significantly. And they're going to continue to create small blockers. They might make just, like, play and sack Carrot Cake here, which would be bad. I mean, that's not good, right? This is a food that makes blockers. Ugh, Jackdaw Savior's quite annoying. Yeah, and they're trying to just race me hard. Bing bong, yep. I think here I have to lose 3 life, unfortunately. That's going to put me dead in the air. So what can I do? 6, 9. Can Head of Homestead. That doesn't do much. Crumb and get it 1 short of lethal, which is pretty wild. I feel like the rabbit token is definitely blocking, and they probably don't block anything else. So they do have to be aware of like cards like Overprotect being a threat with Trample. But I don't know how much they want to respect something like that. They don't have the ability to Carrot Cake, but they will. So I don't know if anything else is going to jump in the way of anything else. Obviously, the Mentor blocking here would be solid. It's a difficult Difficult block to consider for sure. Yeah, little if that swordsman. Oh, that's really good for me. So they do get. What do they get back here? Oh, they get the cleric. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Yeah, GG. Can't stop them. Yeah. It's quite good. Just nothing much I can do there. I mean, I could have I guess I could have discarded because I died with Head of Homestead in my hand, so that would have been smarter. But could we win the game if I... Yeah, I mean, you know, arguably you see another card, likely a land, but you never know. I don't think we had any other tricks or any other haste or anything, so it would have been a difficult ask to get past all of that. But yeah, definitely a struggle there. A little awkward with the mana. I definitely think we should have discarded the Head of Homestead there. But yeah, not much else to say about that. One mistake, one clunk equals an L. I see Life Creed Duo, a lot of 2s. No reason to throw this away. All of our colors are here. Another black deck. Okay. Yeah, just toss out Life Creed Duo, I think, over Warren Elder to start. I mean, for obvious reasons. Against Black Red, it's a little scarier just because they do have the ability to take us down, but I do need the life gain. So I don't know. Maybe I'm going to play the Warren Elder, and the reason being is because next turn I can play Life Creed Duo and hold up Crumb and Get It to protect it. So I think that's a little bit more valuable now. Okay. So they've chosen. So they are just straight lizards. I gotcha. There's not much I can do about that. They're going to come at us pretty hard, so we have to stabilize this board. But going Life Creed Duo with protection into Intrepid Rabbit, into, like, we're essentially sacrificing our curve, right? Like, we gave up a turn to hold up a mana to get the Crumb and Get It. Because they're just going to be very, very likely to want to take out one of our creatures here. Okay, there's the third color. Man, we love them 3 colors, huh? I think I'm going to no blocks again. Because that puts us in a position where we can get blown out. Like, if their turns just pump, then we have, like I said, we have the Intrepid Rabbit if we want it next turn. With, but they're just going, like, full on. But I don't want to put myself in a position where I block, and then my combat trick doesn't do anything. Carrot Cake was quite a good draw. That lets me, if I draw a land, if I get to draw a land, I can Intrepid Rabbit with Offspring plus yes, that's exactly what I want on top. Yeah, so this lets me continue my plan, essentially. That's what we're trying to do, is just, again, sacrifice a little bit of tempo to be able to get ahead. So they're going to steal something. What are they stealing? Sure. So let's do that. I think it's going to be a little bit better than Crumb and Get It for now. Yeah, I still want that on top. Put 2 in front of the Ravine Raider. Take 4. So they have a trick here. And that's okay. There's not much we can do. Scales of Shale. That's alright. They take out 2 tokens. It's not a good position for us, but I do think that we're in a position where this isn't too bad. If we can slow them down, they're down to 1 card. We have the Crumb and Get It. So, as long as there's not another Haymaker like Reptilian Recruiter, I think we're in a good place here. Okay, so now we got to think through our blocks. I think that's a pretty easy one. We take 3 trample damage there. Potentially. This is a difficult block because they can pump 2-3 times, so they can make it into a 5. So maybe we go. I don't love that block. I think the Recruiter gets the block for lethal. I think we just jump here. We can do that. It forces them to pump 1 time, 2 times. Yeah, I think this is fine. Okay, we have the Crumb and Get It. What say you? Man, they really have something. Another Scales of Shale? Okay. They're just knocking us down to 3. I think it's just Coyote time. Gotta beware of haste here, so I'll just crack him with Warren Elder here. So they have the gift of time to draw out of this, but we are presenting a good board that's going to gain us life. If we draw a land, we get to Rush Shield Rampager with Offspring. If not, we get to Bushy Bodyguard with Offspring, and we do get to Forage with one of those, which is really nice. Mind Spiral in this deck is interesting. I feel like there's maybe a blue-black rat element to that. Head of the Homestead is exactly what we're going to play. I just need a Clan of Monies. Yeah, that's exactly what we're looking for. Continue to respect the haste. Just because some of the haste creatures in red are kind of big, I just want to make sure I have enough toughness to not die. That won't happen again too quickly. They're going for another banner. Interesting. So their lizards are. See? Lizard's large. There's a recruiter. So they steal the Life Creed duo most likely. They steal the Warren Elder. What happens if I attack them next turn and I just pump everything? 2, 4. And 4 is 8. And 5 is 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So 3 short. Okay, then I should jump. Didn't hit the land, but we'll Bushy Bodyguard with Offspring. I don't necessarily want to trade the Coyote here. So, no attacks for the second. If we draw a land, we can also Nettle Guard plus pump. given that haste is interesting. Really? Okay. So that's 3 in trample. They have 1, 2, 3 pumps. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they have 3 pumps available, which can take that up to a 6. Does the coyote need to get involved? I guess so. I get rid of a lot of my big creatures though, but I could play this next turn, so I think that's the way I have to do it. Obviously, like, if their last card is a card, then so be it, but they have to pump a lot into this Ravager. And they do enough just to kill everything exactly as they should. Okay, land was good here. This is a mouse soldier, and that does not work that way. Okay. The 10 mana available here. I imagine they have a plan here if they're making this attack. But I do have to, I'm kind of obliged to block here. Yeah, and that's fine. They lose. That's not a big deal. Now we can kind of start to run at him a little bit. Now it's kind of, we're turning the corner now, right? Where it's like, okay, you're 1 Agate Blade Assassin and removal. We just can't afford to keep throwing away a bunch of blocks. Like, I'll happily throw a token in front, but, like, I'm going to attack back now and start activating the Warren Elder because they're not going to be able to keep up with kind of the onslaught. If they want to attack, there's a cost, right? Like, there's an inherent cost with attacking now, in that if you don't have backup, I'm just going to start playing cards and pumping, right? Like, right now, I'm 1 away from threatening double pump. So now it's like, I mean, like, can you attack with the Agate Blade Assassin now? If so, again, I will chump block. Because I don't want them to just... Oh, okay, and they didn't even have me... They definitely didn't attack with the Agate Blade Assassin there. So this is a very defensive move. Like, they're just trying to draw into an answer. They might have the deal 2 to everything. If so, that's very, very bad for me, obviously. Like, they just win on the spot. Though the Nettle Guards can just extinguish the banners... But that still puts me way behind, right? I have a 1-3 versus a... So, which dies? Don't care about that. 1, 2, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's lethal. If we draw a land, it's definitely lethal. There's kind of nothing they can do about it. So we managed to defensively kind of hold back and then crack in, which I'm happy about. They're thinking about haste on something. They could get in for 7. But they're kind of like, there's no hand anymore, so. So that's 9, and then 7 puts me to 2. When this dies, it deals 1. They have 2 blockers now. Just jump. Okay. Pretty much it. Managed to get around the lizards there. Perhaps a touch conservative. I think more so. I think if I had to critique that game, I think there's a couple times I could have hit with the life gainer. But again, the importance of being able to keep that up, I think, was hallmarked there. Like, being able to keep that up and protect it was the key. I mean, I'm low to guess how much life that gained us. Like, it could have gained us almost a full, more 20, like another full 20 life. At least 10. At least. So you can kind of see why I valued that card so high, to the point where I played it 1 turn late to hold up the Crumb and Get It to protect it, because it was just very, very important to us winning the game. Obviously would have died a lot of times without it. That's why I like it in the tokens deck too. I know it's generally more for the bat token or the bat deck, but with the tokens it's just a powerhouse. So 1 drop, 2 drop, 4 drop, but we have a play we can make, so we could forego having a 2 into a 2 into a 3. I kind of like Warren Elder into the Flowerfoot Swordmaster a bit, so that probably is going to be the line that I take. We have enough land. I'm not thrilled with it, but enough so that I would rather play a little bit lean with land in a deck like this than try to keep a lot of land, because the odds of us losing when we flood are much higher. I do want this in play. Question is, how much do we want this Brazen Collector to blow us out? I think I'll take the hit for now. I don't want to throw 2 things in front of it and then just use X number of different red base removal spells that all of my creatures are susceptible to. See what I mean? Like, this isn't the best thing for us, but definitely can attack with Life Creed Duo. I think I'm just going to play out the Nettle Guard. If we draw any land, we get the Head of Homestead. If we draw green, it sets up for, like, obviously Forest would be the best land if we're going to draw one, because then I can Head of Homestead and then Rush Shield Rampager, which is really nice. It's an annoying stat line. I mean, both are, truthfully. I mean, I guess I kind of have to do this at some point in this game. I'm going to have to get uncomfortable and want to make and like offer this. I mean, opponent's fine here. So he's a 2-for-1, right? Like, it's not bad. You trade 3 mana for 3 mana, 2 cards for 1. Definitely advantaged in that regard. Oh, I love Harnesser of Storms. Alright, that was potentially a terrible, like, one of our worst draws. Not much there we can do. See if the deck will treat us a little bit more kind on the next turn. Any land works. Just about any spell works that's not greens, which isn't a huge percentage. We dropped the double green spell, but you can kind of see why I did that too. Sure, I'll just activate. Reptilian Recruiter. They don't currently control another lizard, so their deck's just kind of a hodgepodge of creature types. They don't have enough to cast the Recruiter, but I think they get it until the end of their next turn. No, till the end of turn. Okay. I do like the Harnesser of Storms quite a bit. No reason not to pump the Life Creed Duo there. Just helps it not die to red removal. Put it in the tank or a little connection issue, something. Gev is quite a messed up card. Okay. I'm gonna play Head of Homestead here. I don't love it just because the Brazen Collector does get to keep kind of coming in. But we can offer like Head of Homestead plus a token to block it. So it feels like there's a trick here. Could do something like this, but the mana's getting more and more irrelevant, so I could also do this. I think we're just going to do it this way. Card has so much text on it. Replay Gev. That's fine. Like, I don't love that. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not, like, thrilled about the exchange, but the fact the Head of Household survived there is pretty good. And you can kind of, again, kind of Life Creed Duo overperforming for us for sure. Whether we win or lose, there's no doubt that card has overperformed significantly for us, so happy to see it. Darkstar Augur, wow, that's a really good card. Alright, Longstalk Brawl was really nice as well. Can't fight that Darkstar Augur. The stats on our creatures are so weird. It's like I need this Rush Shield Rampager in play, but I also feel like I can just run out the Carrot Cake here. I'm taking 5 in the air this way, though. I could take out the Darkstar Augur Offspring. I guess that's the way to go. Play Carrot Cake. Curious Forager. Returning Warren Elder's pretty good. But it's like, do I need that? Or is it better to try to aim for... Yeah, I guess it's good enough. Like, how do I win this game if I'm not attacking? Right now, the Augur's the biggest issue on the board. The opponent's got quite a few cards that are pretty annoying. Looks like they're lining up quite a large attack here if they're giving the Cinder and Cutthroat Menace. Never mind. I think it's just a head of household plus a token. Could get back Head of Homestead, but I think the Warren Elder is going to be a little bit better. Though maybe the Head of Homestead's better. It feels like the Warren Elder this turn is going to be better. Awesome artwork on the Teapot Slinger. Opponent playing with fire a little bit on the Darkstar Augur front. Like, they kind of have to kill me, but we're presenting such a wall of force that it's going to be tougher for them to do so. They have a lot of built-in damage, but, like, if we draw a land, I get to Rush Shield Rampager plus. They're coming for 6 here. I guess that's good enough. Not great, but it's good enough. So you have to take out the trash. No real way around that one. That's going to do pretty good no matter what. So I guess I could have added a blocker on. Don't think we're gonna be able to take this one down with all the teapot slinging and whatnots. There's just like a lot of board. And this is going to be a little too little, a little too late, I think. Make sure nothing has reach. They've made it so obvious with that big bow, and I still miss it. Savers, bad for us, because that can take down the Life Creed duo. It's a sorcery. No, it's an instant. It's a good card. Does a lot for 1 and a black. Wouldn't be surprised to see everything come in here. Might give it 1 turn. But again, with the -2/-2, it just makes our block so bad. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, I'll do that. If they have the way to kill me, they have the way to kill me. I think I just have to make a good block here. There's not much I can do. Okay, so they had double removal spell. Yep. Yeah, they kind of had it all. I mean, they had a lot of turns to do it. 13 cards left in deck. There were 10 cards ahead of us. You can just kind of see how that one spiraled out of control on us. Just not seeing, haven't seen our mentor yet at all. Haven't really gotten the ideal curve off either. Haven't gotten, like, I haven't seen hop to it. We haven't seen a lot of our premium cards yet, and we haven't really gotten to effectively the one game we kind of had a curve. We had to play off curve, and we still managed to win that one. But it's been some rough going for the rabbits here. There it is, but no green. Ugh. I mean, is carrot cake, is on the back of carrot cake good enough? I don't think so, because we have to dig for a specific, like, if it looked like this, that'd be better. But again, now our curve is clunky. We'll definitely keep it. The question is, do we want to go Nettleguard into... I think we put back Nettleguard. I just think it's one of the weaker creatures in the deck. Blue and green, so frogs look like they're on the menu, but every opponent's been playing like 3 colors, so who knows? Paw Patch Formation. Okay. See, it's another awkward one, right? Like, next turn we kind of... If we draw anything we can cast, it looks good. And we can cast anything but a Head of Homestead or the Coyote. And on cue, it's the Coyote. I think we're just going to Longstalk Brawl here. Don't need that thing taking over the game. Very mana inefficient turn, but I'm happy enough to take out that looter because it is a strong card. But very mana inefficient turn there. Into the Rush Shield. Yep. Okay. Any land and we're looking good. Blue, green, no frogs at all. Can't double block this thing. We just take 4 if they attack with it. They're holding up all their mana so far. That's interesting. 4 cards in hand. Okay. Feel like they're still holding up a potential counter. I mean, I'll play into potential counter. I just kind of have to. The question is, do I want to... I think I'm just going to Coyote. I'd rather have that get countered. That's basically how I feel about it. Because the Head of Homestead turns the Mentor into absurdity. So... they're just going to overprotect. Makes sense. Okay. That's fine. That's honestly one of the best cards, like best tricks they could have had. So that's not a big deal. Treeguard Duo is quite a nasty card. No blocks, you got me. Okay. The question is, do I want to attack? I think the answer's probably not. This is the problem we're running into, right? Like, it's like, should I just be willing to trade Treeguard Duo plus? But next turn I have Crumb and Get It, right? So it's like, it's very, very difficult. This deck's present us with a lot of tricky scenarios. Like, if I can draw a 4 next turn and then hold up Crumb and Get It, like, I'm in a really good spot to attack with this Beauregard Mentor, and they probably lose the game. If I attack there, I trade with 1 unit. They have 2, we have a lot. But next turn I'm also eligible to attack with everything and really put them in a pickle potentially. They could want to put their other cards to better use and just take a lot of damage. It's really tricky. It's a very tricky board state. You have got to be kidding me. Just the perfect every time. This is wild. Like, just wild stuff. Just every card in their hand was, like, an assemblage of perfect stuff. Sure. I mean, I'll lose those games. It's no doubt. And now we're stuck with nothing, so probably losing. Just to infinity tree guard duos. Yep, as we flood out. Yep. Great last game. What are you going to do? That's Magic. If I haven't pointed it out during this draft enough times, Disney Lorcana. No lands in that game. Nothing much we can do, unfortunately. Just stats are the way stats are, so we can't really pressure the opponent effectively. Tree Guard Duo plus Lily Splash Mentor is going to be problematic. Yep. I don't think there's much we can do. We just have to take these off the board. It's 3-6. So 3, 6, 7, 8. They can put back 7, 4, 5, 6. They can take down 3 of our units. Just doing the math because of the way they arranged everything. Just they got 2 cards instead of a bunch, so that was really nice for us. We still have problems, but the good news is we draw a Longstock Brawl. We can get the Lily Splash Mentor. So, I mean, like, there's stuff, but it's gonna be difficult. There's no doubt. Like, they just have good stats right now with their other Tree Guard duo. It's difficult. We'll keep trying, but yeah, that's an ace. Yeah, it's just way better. Which makes Tree Guard duo absurd. And, like, there's only so many turns we can make those blocks, right? Like, it's going to be tricky. The good news is 4, 5, 6, 7. We've seen a significant chunk of our land. Yeah, they're valuing drawing a card here. Rightfully so, I think. They want to just add to the board and overwhelm us. It's going to be tricky. But I think that they have the wherewithal to do it. So many good frogs. I know that's not the strongest archetype, but it's just really, really good. Just kind of bulk up the character. Yeah, it's really... Can't... Like, I mean, you get to kind of see it on full display here. The only thing that can block the Rampager is the Tree Guard duo, but it blocks the Tree Guard duo unequivocally. Like, there's no problems with... You know, like, it just... We run it into it and it dies. So there's not much we can do about that. Probably our best draw, honestly, is Warren Elder. Looks like they're going to pump something further. The Weaver's not a bad choice, honestly. I'm just going to make the duo bigger. Okay. Now with the Lily Splash Mentor and the Druid, it's, like, even worse. Like, there's just very, very little I think we can do here. Baker's Bane duo is not exactly what I was thinking. There's just not much. I don't see what we're going to do to survive this. I'm just going to let the opponent do something cool, and that'll be good enough, I guess. There's not much, really. We have a little bit of removal, but, like, we're, like, the fact we didn't draw it there, we're so far behind. The fact we had to use everything so defensively early is just difficult. Like, it's just a really, really tricky board state. Like, they have everything they want. They just don't even have to add permanents to the board any further, and they can do whatever they want. So, it's not much we can do to overcome this, I don't think. Get a little bit of Ellie action there for a second. Yeah, I'm talking about you. My turn. I mean, I guess we're just cracking this food. I could save it for, like, Curious Forager, but I think I have plenty of stuff in the... Hey, it's hop to it. Not much I can do here, honestly. Like, all I can do is keep building my board state and hope to, like, Warren Elder. Like, that's the best game plan I can think of. Is just the one negative to their Lily Splash Mentor plan is it gives me a lot of time. But if they have something like Season of Weaving, like, we just get wrecked. I mean, it returns non-tokens, which is nice, so I have a lot of those. But I don't know. It just feels like we're really fighting uphill. Splash Slasher being able to basically now just perma tap everything that we have. It'll be game over, basically. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Got a little bit, but they're just gonna blanket here and tap down another card, which would probably be Head of Homestead, and then from there our blocks are very, very anemic against the Tree Guard Duo. Like, we're trading like 7 units or something. Like, it's really bad. So we'll have to take the hit probably from the Tree Guard Duo, to be honest with you. Like, they can't further blink because they didn't use the 3 wheat. Oh no, they can. The 3 tree root weaver. Oh my gosh, that's a tongue twister. So they can blink one more time. Like, if we don't block the Tree Guard Duo, like, it'd be only if they attacked with it. Like, so ideally they would attack with something else, right? But, like, yeah, they just bulk it up. 2, 5, 6, 8, 9. So I think, yeah, we're just going to slam everything in front of this because it's their best attacker. They'll build another big attacker, but there's just not much I can do about it. Seven blockers for 8. Right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in the front. Right? So you get Baker's Bane Duo, the fancy token, and then the rest rabbits. So you take down most of my stuff. But there's just not much I can do here. Like, I'm not going to be able to beat Splash Slasher if they do this, but, like, going down to 2 also feels like a losing prospect. So it's like, what do I do? Yeah, it's just kind of, and there's the land. Cool. All right. That'll do it. Unfortunately, the rabbits didn't get there this time. Unfortunate. But I do think that the deck was pretty open. I think we were in the right seat for it. I don't think we passed anything, like, crazy over the top. I know we passed the bat that was pretty good. But, you know, is what it is. We'll keep drafting. Bloomburrow set is super sweet. If you haven't got a chance to draft it, it's just so much fun. Like, the flavor's great. The card design's great. There's nothing terribly complex or anything there. It's just a lot of fun. It's pretty straightforward, and I highly recommend it. That'll do it for me. I will be back in a little while here on YouTube, but we'll be back on Sunday nights for the stream, of course, and we'll be here next Thursday with a new video. So until next time, please, please, please cast more spells.